yours.
The fire makes the city look so bright. Close your eyes and just stay tight. We have to go. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me.
Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
The undying waits.
Hello and welcome everyone to the UGC League Season 4 playoffs. Tonight's match is hosted by New Meta Media. My name is Sub-Zero alongside my co-caster 71. Tonight's matchup will be another beautiful best of 3 between We Got Lategame and No Broodmama. Looking forward to casting this week alongside my co-caster. It's really amazing how far we've really come into the season already. I'll be casting Game 1 for you all, and then my co-caster DJ Sneak will be jumping in for Game 2 and possibly Game 3. How are you doing tonight, 71?
Doing very well, thank you very much. I can only hope for a Game 3. More Dota equals more better.
Exactly. So, you know, these teams, No Broodmama has actually not lost a game throughout all of this season. And heading to the playoffs has been pretty strong. They're not a team that likes to, you know, see any of that kind of real annoying picks of this meta. Like, even though they did pick up Bloodseeker, they usually ban that out along with the Spirit Breaker and like just everything that's really destructive in this current patch. But, I mean, with these picks right off, right here, Bloodseeker and Zeus, that's annoying dual lane if they want, or just late game altogether. It's super frustrating to have that kind of global presence, and I mean, with them being on such a streak with no losses, it's going to be a difficult game, I feel like, for We Got Late Game, especially in this kind of strat already.
Both sets of picks are very obnoxious. Very dual lane harassment is going to be coming out of Undying and Viper if they go together. Viper doesn't have to go mid, he could go offlane with Undying, and Undying can steal strength, Viper can poison, and zombies will just take care of the rest on autopilot. Speaking the same way, Bloodseeker with Thirst and Zeus harassing with all of his magic damage is just gonna, it's nasty any way you slice it, honestly.
Yeah, it will be a difficult game for I mean, both lanes for both teams here already, like you said, Undying and Viper being such a harass kind of thing with their slow, with the Tombstone and the Poison Sting. But I mean, what kind of lane do you see this Viper being in? It's great with the Undying, but usually you see him more in mid roll, or if they want to kind of farm him solo. I mean, you don't usually. I'm gonna
call Viper as a fake mid. That's a fake mid pick, and he's gonna go off lane.
Yeah,
that's Undying. I'm gonna say that's what's gonna happen because I think honestly, I think that would be a great play.
It's interesting. I mean,
a little bit more room for the mid pick, and it makes no Broodmama reveal their mid pick first. Correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
We got
Viper
late game has last pick. Correct? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Viper going mid. It's not the best thing anymore. We don't really see it too often. It's still great as a harass, but it doesn't really transition so well. I mean, there's just so many more important mids right now.
Mm-hmm. I just realized I'd never seen the tendrils on the side of his jaw before. He reminds me of a catfish. Never noticed that before.
There you go. You learn something every day.
Yeah, right.
So,
and no Broodmama speaking to their name, banning the Brood.
Yeah.
There you go.
You don't want to see that rat come out. I mean, Leshrac, Pugna, Brood, all great pushers in this game, and they've been picked up so often lately, as well as even Tusk being banned out. So, I mean, like I said before, they just want to ban out pretty much everything that's strong in this current patch, which, I mean, why not? And, you know, we got late game doing quite the same here. Lina going, she's not super important right now, but the Quap and the Gyro instant ban, so it's definitely heroes that you don't want to see run up against because they're just really strong right now. And yeah.
To play Sith's advocate on each side, we got a lot of push bans on Broodmama, but no Nature's Prophet push, which, I mean, I know Nature's Prophet has fallen off a bit, but he's still an excellent pusher. He's still got global presence. He's still popping those trees all the time. So I don't understand that. I wonder if they're trying to save it for themselves because of the Bloodseeker Zeus global presence. That could be a little like pocket strat they have hiding. You might see a Nature's Prophet come up. Yeah. And then on the other side we have Lina, Gyro, Tinker, Quap being banned on We Got Late Game, which are all strong mids. I guess Gyro a little less, but mainly you have strong mids being banned on We Got Late Game, which makes me believe that my pick for Viper offlane is actually wrong. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I just don't see Viper as a great mid anymore. He's great to harass, like I said before, but beyond that, you grab the mech and then you're kind of stuck with like, should I go send in Yasha? Should I? You know, there's just a lot of runaround that you can do.
I don't know what you're talking about. Viper is an amazing hero. He is the Cadillac of Dota 2 heroes. You just cruise along and right-click people. That's all you have to do. He is like the easiest hero ever.
Yeah, in this current patch, he's still easy, but I mean, yeah, I see him as more of just kind of a support core kind of thing. But I mean, yeah. We Got Late Game has picked up Phantom Lancer quite a bit in the past. They picked him up 3 times. Usually they ban him out, but they've won 2/3 of their games with the Phantom Lancer pick. And I mean, you were talking about Nature's Prophet, but if they want to go push, I mean, they've had that work before for them, and it could be something they could pick up. Especially, I mean, this frustrating Zeus Bloodseeker combo. Even though they haven't really picked anything else, they're most likely going to be going for these global kind of annoying strats. And PL usually does pretty well. I mean, he can get out of pretty much any sticky situation and run away from it. So, I mean, there's a little bit of push for you and a little bit of sustain.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is an interesting pick. This could be a position 4 bounty. It's been run a lot lately. I mean, nobody tends to really pick the core bounty, especially not in, professional or semi-pro games. It's just not something that's really useful at all. But with the track gold and him being able to run around, if he does get pickoffs, a bounty hunter can be played really, really proficiently. And like I said, getting that extra gold here for a combo such as Zeus and Bloodseeker, if Zeus can get, let's say, a quick refresher or Octarine, it's really hard to come back from. Basically, Viper is your only real good stop against that, because Witch Doctor is going to rely on so much of dealing damage rather than any sort of sustain. So that could blow up supports really quick.
I'm not... Oh, Juggernaut. Okay. I'm not a fan of the Bounty Hunter pick into Viper Undying. Viper and Undying are both really, really hard to kill, even if they're on their own and you have the track. Witch Doctor, less hard. Juggernaut's still hard. I'm not a huge fan of that pick, but the track with the Zeus ult and Bloodseeker giving you a global, kind of a global thirst presence is pretty great. I don't mind this Juggernaut... Oh, Winter Wyvern. I do not mind this Juggernaut pick at all. I think he can really synergize with the Witch Doctor and Viper really well and the Undying. They're going to have a lot of teamfight area control. That Viper can just go in there, he can ult, Witch Doctor can throw down the coconuts, be bouncing around, Undying has his zombies everywhere, and Juggernaut is just having the time of his life, either omni-slashing or spinning or just popping the healing ward.
See, with this Wyvern pickup, though, like, I find Juggernaut's a great pick, because, I mean, we got late games really going for a lot of physical DPS right now. Viper, Witch Doctor's ult, Juggernaut all together. That's a lot of physical against, you know, the Zeus combo. But Wyvern pickup here, I mean, he throws down the ult on, let's say, a Juggernaut or Viper or anything. That's basically all right click going to one of their kind of cores if he wants to do that. I mean, they could blow up the Witch Doctor, but they have enough stun coming up from Zeus constantly and the silence from Bloodseeker that I don't feel they need to do that so much. But if Winter's Curse goes down on the Juggernaut, I mean, he gets blown up and can't get really any magic immune off of it. He can't get the healing ward, so...
I think it would be smarter to put Winter's Curse on someone else and have Juggernaut kill them for you, actually.
Yeah, that too. I mean, if Juggernaut starts kind of balling out of control a little bit and gets his crits off, you know, picks up that Sun Dunyasha or Manta style, yeah, that could be really important to see. Especially, like, against a Viper. That'd be really, really frustrating, because Viper relies so much on his, you know, presence of dealing damage from the Poison Sting, but not only that, the Nether Toxin is just so tanky for himself, and he's just kind of able to keep diving and pushing against a hero. So if Juggernaut pushes on top of that, with the Winter's Curse, then, I mean, Viper's really not going to have any... He's Brewmaster. That is quite interesting pickup. We haven't seen that in a long time.
That's your mid. That's your mid.
It could be your mid. There's a lot of core coming out, and Darkseer for no Broodmama. Yeah, interesting lineups. I mean, it's great to see. You don't see a lot of these heroes come out so much anymore just for the current patch, but, I mean... You know, if Zeus goes mid, there'll be a Bloodseeker farming with the Wyvern, maybe a roaming Bounty Hunter or an offlane with the Darkseer. Really interesting pickup, and you know, if that's your mid that you're calling it for Brewmaster, then you might actually see the Viper and Undying combo. That's going to be a piss off of a lane.
It is, and it looks like, I guess the Bloodseeker is the carry of this game, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah. They don't really have much more unless they start focusing on the core bounty, but that's... I mean, Wyvern can't really solo support that well against this team just because there's just so much tankiness that Wyvern's just going to kind of sit around, just not going to be able to get too many kills off of this, so...
I don't want to play chess master here too much, but if we got late, we'll move the Juggernaut to offlane, actually. Because that Darkseer Ion Shell is going to annoy the hell out of him. And he could go to offlane and contest with the Bloodseeker.
Alright, I will introduce late game for us. So we got presumably their captain running on the Undying. We have Lokarn on the Brewmaster. Save on the Witch Doctor. We have Hora running on the carry Juggernaut. And Dory on the Viper.
Alright, I will introduce No Brood Madre. We have 11 on the Zeus. We have Iraj on the Darkseer. We have a big old monster on the Bounty Hunter. Northern Peru on the Bloodseeker. And Kengan on the Mommy Popsicle Dragon. I'm sorry, Winter Wyvern.
It's always Mommy Popsicle Dragon.
Always Mommy Popsicle Dragon.
It never ends.
She's always babysitting everyone. That's what she does, man. That's her job. And she's a great babysitter.
Throwing down the casual ward. So, you know, we might see a little first blood action, but I don't know. The monster's probably going to stay pretty quiet here, so it could be actually 2 safe runes pick up. Maybe going on Hora, could be on Dory, I suppose, to start out. But it looks like Lokarn is actually on bottom here, so you might actually see the mid Viper instead.
Massive pings coming out in the top rune. Really early Ion Shell on the Bloodseeker, just in case they run into someone, just in case.
And Monster doing a couple little right clicks here to the Witch Doctor and playing it safe, and yeah, I think it will be Dory going mid. Is this going to be a dual lane mid? Presumably throwing up a sentry. No, it will be. He'll head it back, so it's going to be Dory running mid against 11 here on the Zeus, and bottom it's going to be the solo Brewmaster run by Lokarn. And you know what? It's not too bad. If you want to put Brewmaster on the solo lane, you really are kind of gunning for him just to get his 6. And once you get that ultimate up to split, then you're going to start running into, you know, some sort of gank potential if he goes for the early blink dagger.
He's going to be taking a lot of harass down here, though. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that Arctic Burn's pretty frustrating to go up against, especially with the Bloodseeker. I mean, if he wants to throw out Silence, he has elected to push for the early Blood Rage just to kind of heal up and, you know, take as many last hits as possible. But yeah, Lokarn will have a little bit of a difficult time, but he still does have his Drunken Brawler. Running mid here, we got Dory against the Zeus and a little bit of support from Monsters, so this will be a roaming bounty as well. And he's going to look off for whatever pick-off he can. Obviously with the Bloodseeker, that makes it a little bit more interesting, so definitely interesting lane there. And up top, it will be the tri-lane against Araj on the Darkseer.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes of this Bounty Hunters game are going to be really frustrating, though. I wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, it's
early Bloodseeker game roaming is not fun.
No, it's pretty crucial that Bounty has kind of an early start because he can fall off really quick, and it's rather frustrating. Dory going pretty low here. We got Kangan running in with the Arctic Burn, and Save actually TPs in, throws off the Coconut, hits 11 and Kangan, and they're going to go deep on him. This might actually be First Blood with the Poison Sting. It is. First Blood going to the Witch Doctor on late game. And I don't think they're going to get any sort of return kill here, and Monster running pretty low. So good rotation into Save, and, you know, a quick turnaround. Dory running pretty low, and Witch Doctor doing exactly what he needed to, get the stun off, and they managed to get the First Blood kill.
Yeah, it's a very, very excellent rotation. The Brewmaster doesn't need that much babysitting from the Bloodseeker. They're both trading big hits on creep kills. The Brewmaster has his Drunken Brawler. The Bloodseeker has his Blood Rage. They're just taking one hit after another. And interestingly enough, Juggernaut comes down to start to get some more hits. Those Ion Shells are just not treating him the way he wants in the offlane.
No, he wasn't getting that much at all. I mean, he's sitting at just under 6k gold, or 600 gold here. Only has his Ring of Bassi, and Monster's actually rotating in. They don't actually see this. Arctic Burn going out, so slowing him down. He does manage to throw off the spin, but that will be a return kill here, so that's 1 for 1. And I don't think Bloodseeker's going to go down, no. Just a couple tower hits here, so I mean, a little bit of farm going here for Lokarn when the Jugs rotates in, but gets jumped on right away here. And Kangan actually doing quite well here on support here. That Arctic Burn going out, even though only on level 1, is doing so much damage to them. And Juggernaut just not able to get off the spin early enough to save himself and get back to tower.
Yeah, Lokarn, I feel like Lokarn could have gotten the Thunderclap a little bit earlier to try and protect that Juggernaut, but heat of the moment, you know, passion play, whatnot. He did get a Drunken Haze level, but that was after the fact. And he has 2 mangoes, which is really interesting. One stuffed into each cheek of Brewmaster. So he's going to have a lot of sustain, a lot of healing. There he goes into the off lane. Here we go. They're rotating their lanes in response to this Darkseer and safe lane. I think the Darkseer is just too much of a pain.
And you know, it's going to still be difficult for this Brewmaster to get any sort of farm up here. Darkseer is just proves to be so difficult against anybody, so you're not going to have any sort of better lane here. I mean, they rotate the tri-lane on bottom against this Bloodseeker to sort of shut him down, and Kangan doing so much work, like I said, that they need to get some sort of work done here for late game, because they're just not really getting too much here. I mean, looking at last hits here, Bloodseeker 19 and 5 already, Viper following shortly up close, but he's had a pretty easy safe time here on mid against that Zeus. But other than that, I mean, it's still going to be difficult to run up against a farm Bloodseeker.
Yeah, the Lokarn Brew is just, it's the best of a bad situation. He's one of the only people who can probably handle that off-lane push from the Darkseer. We got a lot of action down in bottom, though. Yeah,
they're wanting to push that tower pretty hard, and, I mean, why not? Northern Brew is going to have a little bit difficult time here farming against him, but he's only got his level 1 in Blood Sacrifice here, so a little silence going out, but it's not going to be able to stop a ton. I mean, Hora doing so much damage.
Kill mid.
Yeah, gets the kill mid.
Takes Zeus, goes up the high ground, and just man modes him. Fantastic.
And he's already going to go for the early mech. Yep. He's already going to go for the mech here. Already picks up the buckler, has the headdress, so he's going to turn pretty good here as a core, but it's the thing with Viper. It's just frustrating to see because no matter what Viper has, if he has a good early game, he gets shut down so quick in the late. There's just not enough that he can build to kind of keep things going. But rotates in, 11 throwing off the stun. Dory running pretty low here with the rotation from Monster. And does finally go down here to the Arc Lightning of 11. And with that action from Thirst coming up from the Bloodseeker, Track should be online eventually here from Monster, almost hitting level 4. Darkseer actually getting a kill up here on Brewmaster. Araj running really low, but manages to bring him down here. And 2 for 3. So, interesting enough, Broodmother taking the... No, Broodmama really taking the lanes here. And down on bottom, they're actually going to get a kill here on Presumably if he starts to tick down. Yes, he does to the Bloodseeker. And that will be a double kill for him. So Juggernaut as well as Undying going down. Save gets the stun going out from the Shuriken toss. And that will be another kill. That's a killing spree for the Bloodseeker. And this lane just proving to be so difficult, even with the tri-lane rotating down. And Dory's going to go really hard on Peru here. And he does manage to pick up the kill. But a 1-for-3 trade here on a tri-lane against that dual lane with Monster rotating in. It's just not enough pickup. And they will manage to bring down Kangan. But Bloodseeker's still kind of running out of control here.
Yeah, I don't know if the trades are in late game's favor, but they're definitely taking some picks where they can get them.
Phase Boot's almost coming online here for Juggernaut. And Undying just running his support. Only has the Observer Ward, so we're going to see a lot of tank coming out from him. Tombstone does enough as is right now in the early game for the lanes, but I mean, it's usually better to have that Undying come online rather quick to be kind of tanky and be able to roam around in lanes. So it's going to be interesting for sure. Dory does finally finish his mech here, and that's a damn quick mech at 7 minutes. So that will prove to kind of give them a little bit more tank that they might be missing from the Undying. And they might actually just want to rotate here on mid, push on 11, and perhaps take a tower. Zeus has a little bit of vision on him and throws down the Thunderbolt here. And it's got 3 rotating here on mid, so it will be Zeus and the Winter Wyvern here running mid against this tri-lane. And I mean, they're going to have to play pretty safe here. Dory did pick up a couple kills. Now that he does have the mech, it's going to be pretty difficult to bring him down. And presumably, once he tosses out that Tombstone, as well with the Paralyzing Cast coming out from the Witch Doctor, that's destruction in a nutshell, really. And no matter what Kangan's going to do to try and survive, we have Lokarn rotating in, and they're going to go deep on him. Tombstone going out already. Arctic Burn comes out, so he's going to fly over the cliff. He's going to get away just fine, but that's the Arctic Burn wasted, and there's not going to be extra DPS coming out. Monster rotates in as well, but I don't know. It's going to be pretty difficult to line up against this. Without the Darkseer, he's on top. Bloodseeker running down on bottom. They might just have to give this one up for free. At least a lot of damage anyway. And they just do push back here, and Monster sitting behind the tower. And Zeus's Thunder God's Wrath actually comes out. And Bloodseeker managing to get a pick out down on bottom. And Lategame is just going to keep focusing here on mid. Lokarn's actually teeping away and wants to go deep on Araj here. But I don't think there's a lot they can do.
Non-stop fighting. It's almost non-stop fighting this game.
Pretty much. It's just a lot of rotations back and forth. And there is a lot of mobility to be said here. I mean, Araj has got the sprint. Monster's always in Viz running around. Bloodseeker's going to be pretty quick. And the Arctic Burn coming out from the Wyvern, she can jump over cliffs, trees, whatever she has. And I mean, it is a lot of constant fighting. And I like the idea of late game really kind of grouping up here and wanting to take a team fight. But it's still going to be difficult. I mean, if they're going to team fight, they kind of need to do it as 5. And Save taking so much damage, as you said. Monster trying to heal him up with a wand, but he might actually tick here. Undying's only got the 1 stack of decay on him, so he's running pretty low, but will manage to get away just safe here. And bottom, Bloodseeker going deep on Hora. Throws out the healing ward, but that is not going to be enough. And unless Dory gets one
down a second time?
That's a second time, yeah. He's going
unfortunate.
To a solo Bloodseeker nonetheless here. And Bloodseeker sitting at 43, almost 4,400 net worth. And he's really starting to take control of this, being solo most of the time. Already at level 8, has the phase boots, and you know what? He's actually picked up a blade mail.
Wow, okay. This Bloodseeker is going to be really nasty once he starts to take control of this map however he wants. Meanwhile, top, we have a little bit of an exchange between Brewmaster and Darkseer. Just going head-to-head against each other. It looked like Lokarn had the top of that engagement, but Araj got away with a surge because Darkseer.
And Monster's actually got the Ion Shell, so doing a little bit of extra damage that he can't see, and they do take him down. Shuriken Toss going to him, bring him low, but it will be the Ion Shell that ultimately brings down the Brewmaster. So that's a great pick for them, and they're going to push this lane hard, and that's probably a T1 on top being taken down here for no Broodmama.
Yeah, no Broodmama is really getting the best of these engagements, period.
And look at this, I mean, Headdress already built, Arcane's already finished here on the Darkseer, and, you know, that could be a Guardian Greaves rather quick. They've left him alone pretty much this whole time. He's sitting on top of last hits here at 68, and now that he's taken a tower, look out for that Guardian Greaves, because that tanks up no Broodmama quite a bit. I mean, Viper does have the mech, yes, but it's difficult when a Darkseer can come online so early as well. I mean, both of these teams are really early game kind of matchups. It's really whoever gets the best start. And so far it's been a little bit of back and forth, but I mean, if we see a next engagement with a full team fight, and if Bloodseeker manages to stay alive, I'd have to give it to no Broodmama just for the fact of them having the stuns and the pickoffs like they do, as well as Darkseer hasn't even been a part of these team fights, and he's been doing solo work up on top. So, mech already being expended here by Dory, and they're going to start to push this tower. 11 and Kangan are sitting in the back. Monster throwing out the track here, so they do have vision on them. We're running pretty low, throws out the ult, and Monster manages to get off his invisibility here and heals up, but I think there's not going to be much of engagement. They've managed to take the tower, and I think they really just need to get back. They pretty much expended everything they can, so...
Bottom tower
going here to
just flirted with death really hard against that Juggernaut ult.
Yeah, he's lucky that he got away, for sure. The Invis fade almost had him killed, but... You know what? With the Wyvern pick, that's a great pickup. The no physical damage here from Cold Embrace really shuts down the Juggernaut.
Yeah, it's almost like she fulfills the same role as a Naga Siren with her song. Sometimes she just tells everyone, time out, I want to reset this team fight, re-engage, and we need to decide what we're going to do. And it's a very strong mechanic.
A little bit of drawing coming out here on the map from the Bounty Hunter. They want to kind of... looks to be rotate around here into the jungle, and I mean rightfully so. They've already taken that bottom T1 tower, and if they get control of this jungle as Peru's starting to farm it, and they take the T1 on mid, that's a lot of map control that there's not going to be any sort of farm here for the Brewmaster as well as the Juggernaut. Meanwhile on top, Monster going deep on save, throws out the Shuriken, and does manage to pick up the kill with the tracks, a little bit of extra gold. Thunder God's Wrath going out, so they do spot them out. Track going out on Hora again. Silence whiffs on all of them, but Bloodseeker throwing their ult here on Presumably, and the wall comes out on 3, and they're doing so much damage to him, Presumably going down first. That will be a killing spree here for the Darkseer. And they're all running rather low. Spin coming out, mech as well, and Brewmaster's rotated in. Araj is still so freaking tanky now that he has the mech, and they just can't manage to bring him down quite yet. They're rotating everybody in on him, but he's going to hug underneath this tower. And they might be going a little too deep here as Zeus starts to rotate in. They do manage to bring down the Brewmaster. Kangan comes in as well. They got tracks up on both. And the Shuriken toss hits on 1. And that will be another kill on 2. So those were all track kills out of the 3 of them there. And that's a killing spree for the Zeus. And in that engagement, look at the amount of gold change there. I mean, 3,500 in gold for no Broodmama, and they really took that team fight quick. There's just so much tankability from the Darkseer, and they were not able to bring him down, and they didn't want to focus on anybody else, and it ended up costing them ultimately. That's there are 3 main cores here on late game going down.
Yeah, what's the most important part about that is that the Bounty Hunter with the Ion Shell, Monster with the Ion Shell took out the Witch Doctor very, very quickly, and that set the way for them to just completely dominate that team fight. They just rolled over them, and then re-engaging past the wall was very difficult. It was, I think they should have just taken the dead Witch Doctor and then called it over. But they wanted to go hard, they wanted to try and get those kills.
I mean, without the Witch Doctor, there's not a lot of, you know, lockdown. He's the only one with a stun on their team, apart from the boulder toss here from the Brewmaster split.
The Brewmaster.
So it's really hard to lock any one of them down because Zeus comes up so quick. And look at Monster with the Ion Shell. He wants to go so deep on Presumably, and it will be Zeus that picks up the kill with the ultimate, and that's another track kill. I mean, let's take a look at the gold graph here, and it's already starting to dive. That's 12k gold lead for no Broodmama, and it's only just over 14 minutes in. And Track's really showing its worth online here. I think that's the 4th or 5th track kill that he's gotten. And all of a sudden, Bounty Hunters, Phase Boots, Null Tally, it looks like he's going for the Dagon build. And he'll get it really quick here.
Yeah, this Staff of Wizardry on Bounty Hunter, I would not be surprised to see a Dagon, honestly.
It definitely will be.
Yeah, it'll be a Dagon. And he will just be nuking people, and Zeus will be supporting him from all over the map. It's going to be really interesting.
I mean, right now, Bloodseeker really running away with this one. He's already got the BKB coming in once he picks up that recipe. And Monster doing quite well. Obviously, we've talked about him.
BKB?
It will be a BKB.
I thought it would be a Sange, but
he's got the Ogre and the Mithril Hammer, and that stops any sort of lockdown. I mean, Undying won't be able to do shit against him, and the Witch Doctor won't be able to get the stun off. Viper's not going to cost him anything for the Poison Sting, so all he has to watch out for is really the Juggernaut ult as well as Witch Doctor's ult, but they haven't even been proving to be useful as of yet. And late game, grouping up his 5 here, wanting to kind of take some sort of map control or take some sort of team fight to get something back here, because, you know, this one could run pretty quick with tracks going on everybody, and if they're going to get these kills, watch the pick off of the courier there, they know what's going to happen.
How much detection has late game bought for this bounty hunter? He is okay. We have an Undying with a sentry.
Oh, he might actually get it. No, just missed him.
I mean, we're only 16 minutes in, and we're 4 and 15 on kills. This is crazy. They're going so hard. I think no Broodmama knows that they need to end this game quickly, not let this Jug get anything, not let this Brewmaster or Viper get out of control.
And this is a costly exchange here. We have all 5 of late game on top, wanting to take that T1 down. But on mid, we have Northern Peru and Araj pushing that T2 already so quick. And once you give that up, I mean, that's a lot of map control of any sort of jungling being done, as well as 11 starting to push down on bottom, and I mean, it's almost already half gone, so the map control really being taken here, and just not enough farm on the course. We have Juggernaut only with the Morbid Mask that he's building into, and Brewmaster still sitting with those 2 Enchanted Mangoes. He wants to go for that Blink Dagger, I'm sure, but it's taking way too long.
That mid map control, I don't think it's that strong for Dire. I think if they rotate in and take bottom, I think that's really strong after the mid. But honestly, you have these camps you're controlling, and you have Ancients. And Ancients are strong, but how much have they been utilizing them in this game?
They can't utilize them yet.
He's nowhere near a Battle Fury. Like, that's in his wildest dreams right now. So I think if they take this tower and then they rotate bottom and take the bottom tower, which they probably can, I think that would really give them a lot of map control. And then they could probably rotate to Roche, or even after the mid lane, they could rotate to Roche and really take a dominant streak in this game.
Yeah, Battle Fury's out of the question now. I mean, it's almost 17 minutes in. Juggernaut hasn't got any piece for it, so he's probably just going to go in probably a Mask of Madness. He just needs the recipe to finish this one, and I mean, that's all they can really hope for right now. I don't know what else Hora's going to build if he wants to get that Ags to, you know, deal a little bit more damage. But as we've been talking about this Winter Wyvern, I mean, Cold Embrace is just so strong against it. He can't do anything. He's going to have the ultimate. He's not even got the level 2 ultimate yet. And it's just going to be so frustrating for these cores on late game to really get any sort of work done. And they're kind of running away with this one here on No Broodmama. XP in the mind here of 11k lead, and Gold running way out of control with these track kills, almost at 15k in net worth lead. That's nuts. In an under 20-minute game here, Bounty's taking such a stride, and this is what you want out of that support bounty, is to have the roaming, have the track kills going out, because they're just starved from any sort of farm here on late game. And Broodmama are just really looking at whatever they want. Zeus already has a Bloodstone that he elected to go for. Not even the Ags, because they're doing so well. Already has a level 11. And Bloodseeker almost has the BKB here. And there's really not going to be a lot late game can do to them if they start to bring down this map control.
I think if you want to tell the story of this game, you should look at the inventory of the supports. Late game has barely brown boots in both of their supports, and no Broodmama. Both supports have upgraded boots, and they have extra luxury items.
And all the rotations coming out in the world, Tombstone actually being thrown out, but there's nobody nearby, so that will be a wasted Tombstone, and Monster's going to kind of sit behind here, getting really close to this Dagon, so he's probably not going to want to die anytime soon. Throws out the tracks just to kind of secure any sort of vision, and 11 doing a lot of work here, already pushing the tower, activates the double damage rune, and Hora wants to jump on him, but he's got to play it safe, because the rest of his team's already in the trees, and look out, because Kengan's sitting in the back here with an Arctic Burn wanting to jump out. And they actually managed to throw it down on Presumably. He tosses out the ult to kind of secure a little bit of tankability, but goes down to another track kill. And Save will be doing quite the same here. Drops to the Bloodseeker, so that's a killing spree for him. Brewmaster throws out the ultimate, and oh my goodness, Winter's Curse thrown out on the door, and that's what we've been talking about. They can't get any sort of damage here. Raj running a little bit low, but they've expended so much that once, Bloodseeker's just going to start running around here. Brewmaster throws down. No more split for him, and they're going to start to chase down these 2 kills. Both of them tracked up, and Bloodseeker actually going down pretty quick here to the Hora from that ult, but gets healed up from the Cold Embrace, And all three of them are running pretty low. Still haven't gone down quite yet. And all the supports from late gaming are rotating in. That will be a dominating streak here. And Zeus, as well as the Darkseer, actually taking them down really quick. Dory's still running really low, and he might actually fall to the Urn charge. Witch Doctor's ult, unfortunately not doing anything to 11 as Cold Embrace goes out. And Save might actually die again here. No, it will be 11 going down. So Viper picking up the mega kill streak. That's a lot of great gold for him. And at this point, no Broodmama. I think they just need to get out. They've taken quite a bit of kills here. Zeus has gone down. It's time to get back. But instead, Bloodseeker throws out the ultimate, goes on presumability, and that will be another track kill for him. So that's a dominating Bloodseeker now. And with that, that was 3 kills here for no Broodmama in exchange for the Zeus, which is already back up because of that Bloodstone having a couple charges on it.
I think it was 4 kills for no Broodmama.
Was there a buyback there?
Unless I'm not sure, but my fight recap shows 4 to 1. Excuse me.
And that's just insane. I mean, Dory doing a lot of work here. He's picked up the Yasha along with this mech now, so he's doing quite a bit of work. But I mean, just the no Broodmama as a whole, as a team, is doing so well. And I mean, XP way out of the. It's just unstoppable at this point. I don't think there's really much late game can do. And not to take away anything from them, they have a great draft and all, but this early game from no Broodmama has just been so strong, and it's picks that it looks like they're comfortable with. And while I'm saying that, GG's called from late game. They just can't seem to get anything done. Wow. And rightfully so. There's just not a lot they can do. There's just so much farm here already for no Broodmama. And they elect to just concede game 1, so it will be game 1 going to no Broodmama. And hopefully they can change their lineup here for late game. They just really got dominated in the early game and wanted to call it quick here in the UGC playoffs. And I mean, there's nothing more they can do. Late game, their draft just didn't work out. As I said, I mean, a Viper, no matter what kind of start he has, he just can't control a game as it goes later on, mid to late game. And, you know, he picked up a couple kills there in that last engagement of the team fight, but other than that, there's nothing else to go along with the Juggernaut not having any farm. The Brewmaster literally have nothing. Sold all the stuff at the end there, but I mean, I think he only had boots. He was just about to pick up a Blink Dagger, and that's it. Bounty doing so much work this game. 2-0-10, and you know what? I think he might actually be the all-star out of this one with all the track kills coming out. Just so much gold. And, you know, going into game 2 here for late game, they're going to have to do something. Either ban out this kind of draft that really was destructive, or kind of think up a whole new one for themselves.
Yeah, they might want to rethink the Bloodseeker. They might need to ban that.
Yeah.
It's obviously a very high value hero.
Exactly. Stand by, everybody, for game 2. It will be about a 7-minute delay, and it will be DJ Sneak as well as 71 joining you again for this UGC playoff. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.